Hello and welcome back to Guitar and Music Tech. Today is part 2 of DAW and we will talk about which one that you need to choose. In the old days, you had to really be signed by a record company to be heard. But these days, the game has changed completely and you can record yourself at home and produce and mix a beautiful song all by yourself. You just need to know how. There's 5 steps to this process. First of all, you need to compose the song, then you need to record the song, mix all your recording tracks, master it, and then release it to the world in a form of MP3 or sheet music or whatever. So initially, a DAW's main purpose is to help you with steps 2, which is recording. But now these days, we are using the DAW to help us compose, giving us inspiration in the form of ready-made loops and sounds that will make you think and maybe go different directions in what you wanted to compose, as well as giving you some hints and maybe helping hand if you're stuck in harmonically. Let's say you don't know which chord to play at next. That also we have some tools that will help you and give you suggestions and where you can go from where you're stuck. Most of them will allow you to do mixing. So all the DAWs that I saw will help you mixing, because mixing basically is adjusting in a very simple way the volumes, mix them up of your tracks, which are usually occupied by different instruments. That's as simple as it is. So you want to put the volume of the bass down, you push the button down. You want to increase the vocalist, you put the volume up. That's the volumes. Then you can adjust them in the sound stage by panning them right and left, adding effects to them, pushing them forward and backwards in the sound stage, doing many types of different little tricks with compression and EQs to help you get a good mixed sound at the end. Some of them you can use what we call a surface, controlled surfaces. Basically, it's like a mixer with its buttons, and you can use that instead of using the mouse to click the volume up and doing all your changes. You're going to use real buttons, and some of them you can buy them are motorized, so that wherever you left them, they will jump there whenever you open that song with those volumes, and they will move down and up with automations. That means you can automatically get some volumes down and up, move them. You might have seen that in some studios if you have seen some videos of that. Interesting. And finally, the mastering phase at the end. You master your song. Basically, you're optimizing it to have the best possible tonal balance and volume for matching all the other songs in your album, if you have that, or if it's just a single. At least it will be perfectly optimized for streaming if you're publishing it on iTunes or whatever. And as I said, very few of those software will do all of it for you. Please understand that those 5 steps I mentioned are 5 really different areas of study. Some people will spend their lives just doing one of them as a profession. So we have the composers who write the music, we have the recording engineers who record the music, and then we have the mixing engineers who are going to mix it, and then the mastering engineer, or before that we have the producers who are going to produce the song for you, and then we have the mastering engineers. So we have a lot of different people who are involved actually in a professionally produced song. So to ask from one person, you, to do all of this will be kind of a little bit difficult, but it's doable. And there are some people who are producing their own songs all by themselves, recording every single instrument also, not just that. But of course, it will make it very slow, because imagine you have to do all this. You have to be knowledgeable in every little thing that you're doing. It takes a lot of time to learn, a lot of time to invest in everything. And maybe you're better in one than in the others. You cannot be excellent in everything, right? So we have our strengths and our weaknesses. Maybe you want to collaborate with other people. There are websites so that you can create accounts and collaborate with others just like you. Some of them may be drummers, bassists, singers, and maybe you compose or the opposite. So these collaborations is very good. And the best and the most successful songs written almost are collaborations between two or more people. Look at the Beatles, for example. It's always Paul McCartney and John Lennon, right? It's collaboration between both of them. And don't forget the producer in that combination of the Beatles, which is George Martin. It wouldn't have been the Beatles if it wasn't for him. He's the producer. He's overseeing every single aspect of the song and making decision, and it affects the end result dramatically. It's kind of like the movie director. You've got the actors, and he is in control of them and doing everything. So that's how the music producer would do that. And without George Martin, we won't actually have maybe the Beatles the way we knew it. The Beatles didn't know any music theory. It was all George Martin. And when you listen to how rich the harmonies are in the Beatles, you wonder how can they not know and come up with all these things. So, just someone to give you a guide of what to do, knowledgeable in music theory, can really make a huge difference in your end result. Definitely, you want to have control of everything, then you're going to do it yourself if you want full control. But if you want to give other people control, so you need to collaborate. And that's why a DAW is very important, because it does help you with all those aspects. It's amazing what amount of tools that we have these days. You want to master? Well, there's a tool for it. You want to mix? There's a tool that helps you do a decent mix. You want to compose? Well, there's our tools also to help you compose. Whether give you ideas of harmonic ideas, give you melodic ideas, help you don't know how to play the piano, we've got tools for that. And it will give you a line of piano. You just need to tell it where is the form of your song. So we have tools for everything. It's endless. And each one of these is kind of like a study. You need to spend time to learn how to use that tool to help you, or else it won't really help you. It will waste your time trying to figure it out. So in my opinion, if you're better off collaborating with others, right? Then it will be much easier and concentrate on what you do best. We also have the notation part. We have very powerful notation and sheet music software that is part of this whole process, because sometimes you would need to have real musicians play your song, so you need help in notating it. Some of the DAWs do have notation built in, so whatever you record, you can kind of get out with a little bit of work, some type of notation that you can give to your musicians to play. So with all these options that we have, it becomes a little bit confusing on which to choose. So let's go back to what do I want to do. GarageBand, it's free. It comes with all iPhones, iPads, and Macs. So there's no two ways about it. You can try it if you have one of these equipment. Logic Pro on the Mac is, in my opinion, the best value of any of the DAWs. For $200 or so, you can get yourself a full everything. You have very good mixing in there. You've got notation built in. You got some pitch correction. If you're singing and your singing is not perfect, it can help you with that. You've got loops and samples, tons of them that you can use to inspire you. It's got a drummer, which is unbelievable. In my opinion, that's the one thing that's missing almost from all the others, which is an automatic drummer. You just tell, okay, this is the verse, this is the intro, this is the chorus, this is the ending, this is the outro, whatever. And then you just choose a style of drums with a few controls that you can control that. And you've got a drummer playing along with you. How great is that? I wish all of the other DAWs would have something like this, because in the composition phase, it does help you to have a drum track playing along instead of a beep, beep, boop, beep, beep, a metronome. So that is terrible. To have a metronome, it's not inspiring, but to have a drummer playing along, even though the samples are not that great, but it does help. So Apple Logic Pro is highly recommended, and it's very popular in North America here because most of them musicians use a Macs. So it's easy for you just to buy, and you buy it once, it's there. I bought it 10 years ago, and it's been updated a dozen times, many times, and I have the latest version. I didn't have to upgrade or pay for anything. That's the beauty of Apple. When you buy it from the Apple Store, you don't really need to pay for upgrades and updates. It's done automatically, and you always have the latest version of it. Okay, so what else do we have? Highly recommended Logic Pro from the Mac. We have Studio One from PreSonus. Studio One Pro. There comes in different versions. This one is pretty good for the workflow. What is workflow? When you come to put a song down and record, there's many phases. If you're in the composition phase, you need to first put the form of your song. Where's the intro? You have how many verses do you have? How many choruses are you going to do? What's the beat and all that? So the workflow, what do you start with, and then what do you move next? Do you record your drums first? Do you record the bass after? Then do you put your vocals first, or do you put your chords first? Which one goes first? And how do you do it, and how do you go about it? That's your workflow. How fast can you do things? Studio One Pro, in my opinion, when it comes to workflow, no one beats it. It's so simple. It's drag and drop. Everything is drag and drop. And it's a little bit more expensive than Logic Pro, but it does help you and save you time. And it's the only one, by the way, that does everything. Remember, we said we want to record, you want to compose, you want to mix, you want to master. It does everything. On top of that, it allows you to play live. Some people use a DAW to play live. Well, we have a whole DAW called Live from Ableton. So what does that do? Well, remember, if you're playing let's say you're a couple of musicians, or you're just one musician and you want to play live. So what do you need? Well, you're playing one instrument, but if you want to make it more rich with more instrument, backing tracks, and help you go from one song to the other, and have control on how long do you want the verse to repeat and all that. And with a push of a button, you switch from one place to the other, or maybe a pedal. Yeah, it does that. It has a part of the software that's called Show. You can add your music and perform shows with it. It's not the best, not yet, because Live from Ableton, we're going to talk right now a little bit now, is actually the best one for live performances. But for Studio One, it's getting there, but it's doing everything else also really fantastically. And it has, they are coming from Steinberg. They are German, both of them. And the programmers, apparently, they were from Steinberg that created the Studio One Pro. And they're the one who invented VST, the VST standard for plugins. And ARA, which is, if you hear about pitch correction, Melodyne is the king of pitch correction. They invented ARA, that you don't have to transfer the track to the software, which is the ARA, Melodyne, so before you can pitch correct. So it's already there. Well, Logic does that, but they have a really good collaboration with Melodyne, and actually Melodyne Essentials comes free with it, which is around $100. It comes included with PreSonus Studio One Pro. So I highly recommend Studio One Pro if you want to compose. It has a lot of things that the others cannot do. For example, one of the things that are fantastic is if you have some chords that you recorded, you don't know what they're called. What is it? Is it a G? Is it C? Is it a D? Whether it's a song that you are grabbing from the internet or something that you played yourself, there's a chord track. You just drag it and drop it there, and you'll see all the chords written automatically. They just appear out of nowhere. And they are very accurate. Magic. So, Studio One Pro for the workflow, for the ease of composition, for the full compatibility and inclusion of Melodyne and vocal align also, for pitch correction and vocal alignment, and also for shows, if you want to play a show. Now let's move on to the next one, which is Cubase Pro. They are at version 11 right now, and this is, I would say, the king of DAWs. Why? First of all, it's the oldest, almost the oldest. I remember like 20-something years, 27 years ago, and I was studying a little bit of MIDI courses, and we used to have the dongle and go to our computers, and we were using Cubase. Was the one that we used at the time, so long ago. So it's very, very old, the Cubase. And maybe that's one of the things that is not working for it. It's been there for so long, and they really don't spend too much time to modernize it. That's why Studio One is more modern, coming from the same people who wrote Cubase. So why do I call it the king? Because it has everything. You can do everything, but is it easy to do? No. You need to have to learn it. It's a lot of learning in there in Cubase, but it can do anything and almost everything. A lot of people are moving from Cubase to Studio One right now because it's a little bit faster to do things than it's been on Cubase. All of those three softwares use, which is Logic Pro, Studio One, and Cubase, they have notation built in, but limited. They are limited in their notation. Steinberg, which does Cubase, also have a new software which is called Dorico. We are up to 3.5 right now, which is the most advanced notation software. The people who doing Dorico, they came from Sibelius, from Avid. They jumped ship and they started a new project. And it's so modern, it's so simple to use, and it's amazing if you are into notating stuff. So Cubase is moving towards going towards Dorico because in their notation, they're improving it. So if you are working with notation, I highly suggest to work with Cubase because it's eventual. Eventually, they will join together with Dorico to be different than any other DAW. Although notation-wise, Studio One does have contribution with their own notation, which is a Notion. Notion 6 is their software right now, and they have a version for the iPad that you can use with the Apple Pencil, so you can compose with the pencil on the iPad and transfer that directly into Studio One or into Notion, which is a little bit more advanced and more powerful, that gives you almost everything, but it's not Dorico, and the price is not the same either. It's a fraction of the price of Dorico. Dorico is very expensive. Cubase itself is very expensive. So you need to make a decision there. A lot of tools in Cubase. You've got a chord track, similar to Studio One. Sometimes a little bit more powerful in terms of being able to change the chords and how you can go from one to other in the voice leading. Studio One does it automatically, but you don't have really control on it as much as you do in Cubase. Also, it doesn't have a drum track. It does have a simple arrangement track. Arrangement track is not that good as Studio One. Studio One arrangement, it's perfect. It's beautiful. Forgot to say that Studio One also have a scratch pad. That means if you have an idea while you're composing your song and you don't want to put it linearly in there, you just can open a scratch pad, record it there, and leave it there. And you can come back and move from one part to the other, from the real recordings, let's say, to the scratch pad and vice versa. Cubase doesn't have anything like that yet. They do have some vocal alignment tools That means if you have two vocals and you want to align them to be exactly the same, they do that. I didn't really try it yet. It's been there, and I really moved on to Studio One from Cubase, so I'm not really aware. I have to try it to see if it does really work properly, as they say. But everything is there in Cubase, so highly recommended. I still call it the king of DAWs. Next, we come to the next big one, which is Ableton Live. Ableton Live was designed for live performance. It's very simplistic in the looks, so they don't want you to have basically when you're performing live, you're using a laptop, so laptops are less capable and powerful than desktops. So that's why the GUI, the graphic user interface of that software, is simplified. Like all the buttons are just a little line and a curve and a circle, and you just move it. So there's no load on the graphics card to take power from your computer. That's the whole idea of having it so simple. But they keep increasing what they can do. It's based on not a linear mode like all the recordings and all the other DAWs, with a few exceptions. When you record the track, you just select this is the track, this is your record, and it goes linearly, and you choose where you want to go. With Ableton, they have two different ways of recording inside, and that makes it a little interesting, because you can have ideas and try them out in the simplified ways in live that you don't have in the others. I always wished that the other DAWs have that session view, that it's like you record a couple of bars or 8 bars or 4 bars and becomes a loop, and you can record another thing next to it. So let's say you have an idea on the guitar, a couple of chords that you like. So you just create a track, record your couple of chords, and they will continue to loop like a looper. And then you move to the next track, and you can record another melody that goes along with it. It doesn't matter how long it is. It could be 2 bars, it could be 8 bars, it could be 16 bars. And when you stop, it automatically loops with the other 2 bars, like a looper again. And then you can keep adding tracks and adding, but then you have an idea. And this idea, then you transform it into the arrangement view, where you can linearly put them one after the other and create an arrangement. But there is no real arrangement track or chord track or notation into Ableton Live, and they're just introduced comping, which is when you record many takes and you can compose one take out of them all. We call this a composed track. We call comping. They just introduced that. Well, for almost maybe 20 years, the other DAWs have it. So it's not designed for composition in a way that of the others. It's good for ideas. So you can record very good ideas, and I fell into it. I was so impressed about Live when I first bought it close to 10 years ago or something. And I really loved it because I can just lay down tracks and they will be playing with me all like a looper. It's wow. But then I have ideas, and then ideas and ideas, and I was stuck in the ideas stage of creating songs. Never can have a full song because it wasn't designed to that. It's just designed to play loops. And all my ideas became just loops and sitting there, and they're still sitting there. So if you're not going to perform live, it's a little bit complicated to use it for other things, except from what it's good for. And actually, you can buy a controller that helps you with this. It's called a Push. They're up to Push 2 right now. It's perfect. It's beautiful. It works really well. It's an instrument. Push 2 is not just a controller with pads. It's a musical instrument. You need to learn it, spend time with it. It's completely infused into live. It's done by them. And the software really is integrated with the hardware. And you're basically buying, instead of a regular keyboard, the standard keyboard that we know, you're buying a different instrument, which is the Push 2. So that's a beautiful instrument that gives you beautiful sounds and abilities that are not available with anything else. So that's another powerful thing that Push from Ableton also will help you do with if you decided to go with live. Same story with Studio One and Cubase. The people from Cubase jumped and did Studio One. There's the people who did started live jumped and did Bitwig. Bitwig is the new version of kind of live. They're the same people who do it, and it's very similar. You can, if you look at Bitwig, it's so similar to live in a more modern way. It's the king of modulations. That means, and sound design. So if you're into sound design, creating sounds by designing them instead of having them in nature, Bitwig is yours. It's like you need to invent something new in terms of musical instruments and sounds. I would highly suggest you have a look at Bitwig. It's fantastic, fantastic. Really, they've got so many good ideas in there. I wish all the other dolls manufacturers look at what Bitwig is doing and take those beautiful ideas and incorporate them in their dolls, because it's unique, really. So if you're into EDM loops, I would suggest you go with Bitwig or with Live, Ableton Live. If you're into linear, easy going, you've got Cubase, you've got Logic, and you get Studio One. And what else do we have? We have Luna from Universal Audio. Luna is not, I said, it's not a DAW. Not at all. It's far from it. It's just a recording system. Imagine you have a tape machine, but with abilities. That's what Luna is. You buy their interface, an Apollo interface, and you would get this free. It's amazing what it does, but their plugins are expensive. I would not suggest you go there unless money is no object for you, because you will fall into... They are very good. They're excellent, and that's the problem. When you try them, try a plugin, oh, it's amazing, and you just find yourself clicking and getting your credit card and spending the 300 US on one plugin, where you could have bought the whole Logic Pro for less than that. So it's amazing, but you have got to pay for it. Luna comes free. It's a recording system. It allows you to record. It mimics a real desk, studio desk. It has a sound that is the best of any of them for what it does, but it's not a DAW. So it won't help you compose. It won't help you with virtual instrument as much, although it comes with a free one, which sounds great actually. But it does. It's a baby. It's still in the baby phase. It's version 1 point something. It's far from being a DAW. So we'll give it 5 to 10 years to become a real DAW, but I don't know if they want to go this way. They still don't have surface control. They promised it will be available this year in 2021, so we will see when this will come out. At least you can mix in it if you have this, so that you can take advantage of all their plugins and all the sound of Luna. All right. Also, we have the biggest one of them all, the most famous one, Pro Tools. I didn't mention it much. I won't recommend it much. I didn't use it much, so I don't know exactly what is the details in there, but I used it a little bit. All I know is it's in all the studios. So it's a recording tool. It is not to compose, and that's what everyone else on the forums would tell you. You're better off with the other software. So I would not suggest you go into Pro Tools. Pro Tools was very powerful because it came with its own hardware when the computers were weak. When the computers were weak and we start to have plugins, which is basically effects that are done in the digital world, you needed CPU power. Computers were not able to do that. So what did they do, Evid? They took hardware and they put processors in them that were doing this for you. So you'd get reverbs, you get compressors, EQs built into the machine as plugins, just like what Universal Audio is doing right now. And all the studios adopted that. So it's still there. So if you want to be compatible with studios, you need to have Pro Tools. That's the only reason. Is it the best? Not at all. Is it good? Of course. So that's why I will not discuss Pro Tools much, because I find for a beginner or for someone at home, is not a record. You're not waiting for customers to come and you just press record and record them. People are moving from Pro Tools to Luna because most of them have those high-end, expensive Apollo interfaces where you can record. So they won't really need to use Pro Tools anymore. Right? But then it's not, even on that stage, it's not there, Luna, yet. It will be maybe in a year or two. So Pro Tools, not for you. Unless you want to become a studio recording engineer. Then, of course, you go to Pro Tools, because without that, nobody will hire you. You need to know it. So that's the only reason. So now we've got an idea with all the softwares that we have, the big ones. I mean, I didn't mention Reaper and Cakewalk and Fruity Loops. These are a little bit older ones, and they're still excellent. But I concentrated on the main ones that I know. I don't know the other ones much. Although Cakewalk was my first, the first one I used in the age when it was only a sequencer. So I hope I gave you an idea. I hope I didn't confuse you. Ask yourself, what do you want to do? Do you want to compose? Do you want to just record? What type of music do you do? Is it EDM, electronic, digital music? Or is it just you on your guitar, or you on your piano, or you're just a singer? You want to sing. So decide on that, and then see what computer do you have. Do you have a PC? Good. You have Studio One. You can actually Studio One. You can try it for a month with everything comes with it. They have a subscription right now. One thing that I will say in general for all of these DAWs, that whatever you choose, you need to, as I said in the very beginning, to stick to the one you chose. Okay, so take your time before you make your choice. Buy the software, okay, and stick with that one software, and don't distract yourself. So step one, ask what you want to do, make your decision, and buy it and stick with it. All right. I hope that was helpful for DAWs part 1 and 2. And next time, I think I'll talk about my own story with DAWs. And maybe that will give you more insight of which one to choose. All right. Thank you and goodbye.